Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Mike.
Hey, today we're talking about a different career that I don't think we've talked about this before, at least since I've been here, and that's a career of being an interior designer, which is kind of a fun career, especially nowadays. Seems like there are a lot of design shows on TV.
Yep. Interior design is basically making the inside part of a home or business, but generally we think of them for homes, making it pretty, attractive, interesting, using style, using design, using your artistic flair, and also choosing the right furniture, all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those funny things because you could do it as a job, but most of us do it at some point. If you arrange your bedroom the way you like and put posters up on the wall or paint the walls a certain color because you like it, well, that's interior design.
Yeah, it's probably not your career, but I can use my mom as an example. She was really good at it.
Yeah.
And we had people who would come to the house and check it out and say, oh, who's your interior designer? And
Did you get a professional to do this?
Yeah, my mom would always go, me.
That's right.
And they'd want to have her help, but, she had kids to raise.
Oh.
We're going to talk about what it means to be an interior designer, what interior design entails. But first, guys, we're going to read through today's lesson.
If you're the type of person who shudders upon entering a poorly designed room, interior design could be the career for you. There's more to interior design than just decorating a space to your personal taste, however. Interior designers see projects through from beginning to end, taking spaces from empty shells to fully decorated areas ready for use. To accomplish this, interior designers must take function and safety into account. When conceiving the design for a space, designers consider what it's being used for in order to make it as efficient as possible. They also ensure their designs follow all local building codes so people can move around and exit safely in emergencies. A range of skills is required to make each project happen. First, designers must be able to make and follow strict budgets and schedules. Having this strong sense of discipline keeps them from falling behind. At the same time, designers rely heavily on other people, so effective communication skills, including the ability to organize and lead a team, are an absolute must. Creating and finishing a project would be impossible without a well-run crew. On top of all this, interior designers must make spaces attractive and comfortable. Knowing how to work with different design elements, including color, light, and patterns, is a necessary skill. It takes creativity and imagination to blend these features well. It also takes specialized knowledge of design history, structural integrity, and computer-aided drawing software. Though interior design isn't quite as simple as just adding furniture and accessories to a room, it can be a rewarding career for those who care about making the world a nicer place to live.
Okay, guys, let's take a look at the title first. Notice here we've got the ins and outs of interior design. The ins and outs of something, that's a phrase we use to talk about knowing how something works or how a process functions. So let me give you an example. Maybe some of you out there are really good with computers. You might say, oh, my friend John knows the ins and outs of a computer and how to repair them. That wouldn't be me. I'm pretty good with computers, but I don't know the ins and outs of everything. So you kind of understand the workings of something. I'm using workings with an S. The workings of something means you know what it's composed of, how it's formed, how to work with it very well. Here we're talking about the ins and outs of interior design, what it takes to actually be an interior designer. If you're a person, we're going to add an ER to that word, interior designer. When I was growing up, though, you heard interior decorator a lot more. But interior decorators sound less professional to me than, say, an interior designer. So if you actually pursue this as a career, you're probably going to study some things in school, although you don't have to get a degree in interior design to be an interior designer, but a lot of people will study that before they go ahead and take a job with maybe an interior design house or firm, or maybe start up their own business.
All right, so let's have a look at the first sentence. It reads, if you're the type of person who shudders upon entering a poorly designed room, interior design could be the career for you. So this is sort of introducing the idea and sort of putting out the idea there that maybe this is the kind of person you are. Maybe you would be interested in this or something like that. But it says here that if you are the type of person who shudders upon entering a poorly designed room, kind of describing a type of person. And hey, maybe this type of person is you. What type of person? The type of person who walks into a room for the first time, and when they see how poorly designed it is, how ugly it is. Oh my gosh, what color did you choose for the walls? And oh, that furniture. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Are you blind? That doesn't work. That looks ugly. And seeing all that makes you shudder. To shudder is to sort of shake or shiver. You shiver maybe when you're cold. You shudder when you feel fear or disgust or something is really upsetting you emotionally. All right, so you might shudder when you get terrible news. You might shudder when you feel fear, when you feel like you're in danger or something bad is going to happen. You might also shudder if someone tells you something really shocking that sort of makes you feel confused and worried and scared all at the same time. It's sort of a negative reaction, a bad reaction to something. So
definitely.
Imagine you're the kind of person who takes beautiful things so seriously that when you see an ugly thing, it's almost like seeing a spider crawling up your arm. It's like, oh, I can't stand this. You put green cushions on your yellow sofa. That looks terrible.
Oh, no.
Well, if you're that kind of person, then maybe you should be an interior designer. Maybe this is the career for you because obviously you have strong feelings about interior design.
Yeah, very strong feelings. So there's more to interior design than just decorating a space to your personal taste, however. That's what most of us think of when we hear this phrase interior design or that someone's an interior designer. Oh, they picked the color that the walls are painted. Oh, they chose the sofas and the curtains and the wall covering, which we used to call wallpaper, but now it's wall covering. So if you're good at that or you like to see things that please you and don't make you shudder, maybe this is something you want to do for a living. Interior designers actually see projects through from beginning to end. So you're not the architect. You didn't design the outside of the building or how the walls are formed and where the stairs are, but you're going to be looking at the empty space that is there once the building is built, and you're going to decide how to fully decorate all of the areas and get them ready for use. So we're going to go through all of these things that an interior designer would actually be in charge of. Moving on to the second paragraph, it says, to accomplish this, they're going to have to take function and safety into account. Notice we've got this verb phrase, to take something into account. Means you consider it, you think of it while you're trying to accomplish something. You might want to take into account the size of your apartment before you decide to paint your walls a very strong color. Because when the color's very strong and the space is small, it kind of makes you a little bit crazy, a little dizzy. So take something into account. Here we're taking the function. What is that room serving as? Is it the kitchen? Is it the living room? Is it a bedroom? Is it a study? And safety. Is there a good way for people to exit out of that space if there should be a fire? Those things are very important.
And it says when conceiving the design for a space, designers consider what it's being used for in order to make it as efficient as possible. Yeah, this is a very good idea, a very good point. When you're conceiving something, you're coming up with your first ideas. So imagine the interior designer walks into an empty building or an empty room. Someone says, I want to make this into a coffee shop. Okay, so now I'm thinking of coffee shop ideas, but I'm first starting to conceive my ideas. I haven't even written anything down. It's all in my head, in my imagination, using my creativity. But for something that is going to be used like that, like a restaurant or a business, a coffee shop is a good example, designers need to consider what it's being used for in order to make it as efficient as possible. When lots of people are using it, when you want it to work well, it needs to be efficient. Something that's efficient does its job and it doesn't waste time or energy. It does its job well without wasting a lot of other things, right? They say bicycles are very efficient. You pedal a little bit and you go quite far. It's much more efficient to ride a bicycle than to walk, right? You can get just equally tired, but you'll be a lot further on your journey on a bicycle. So that's very efficient. A little energy produces a good result. Well, for a design, you want it to be easy to use. If you're making a coffee shop and the tables are blocking where the waiters need to get to the kitchen or people can't get to the door or, something like that, that's not efficient. You're wasting space, you're wasting energy, you're making this interior design not the best way possible.
So they also ensure that designs follow all local building codes so people can move around and exit safely in emergencies. I'll be honest, I'm not a contractor or somebody who's into constructing buildings, so I don't know what the building codes are here, especially locally in Taiwan. But if you're going to be designing a building, especially an office building and not just a home, where the public is going to be using that building, you'd better know what the local building codes are. Those come from the government, and these are codes to ensure that people are safe if they're in that particular space. To ensure here, guys, just means to make certain something happens or that something occurs, or you could ensure that your instructions are followed by following after people and making sure they do what you ask them to do. So you could also just substitute make sure. They also make sure their designs follow the building codes. And these codes here is just another way to say a law or a rule, some sort of rule that must be followed. And if you don't follow it, you're going to be fined, have to pay some money. So you want to make sure the space that you're working in is safe. Before we continue on and find out more about what's required, guys, let's take a few minutes and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 首先来看到今天第一个空格的句子写着 There's more to interior design than just decorating a space to your personal blank one. However, 今天谈论的主题呢是室内设计。这一句提到然而室内设计不仅仅是依照你个人的什么来装饰空间。在 personal 形容词的后面，我们可以放一个名词搭配文意。第一题的标准答案，我们可以选择 A, taste。在这里的 taste 指的是品味的意思。第二个空格，我们直接来看后半句，到底室内设计是什么呢？他这里讲到 from beginning to end， 整个的 projects 是从开始进行到结束。Taking spaces from blank to shelves to fully decorated areas ready for use. 原本是怎么样子的一个壳子 shelves 变成了呢是装潢好而且可以供使用的区域。从零到有，从空壳到充分装潢好的区域。所以第二题我们可以选择 G 选项 empty。第三个空格的句子写着 To blank 3 this, interior designers must take function and safety into account. 那么要怎么样这一点，室内设计师呢必须就要把功能跟 safety 安全性都纳入考量。在 to 的后面放一个原形动词，搭配文意，我们可以选择 B 选项 accomplish 在这里则是有完成的意思，要完成这件事就必须要考量到功能跟安全性。第4个空格我们直接来看 so 后半句， So people can move around and exit safely in blank 4。这里谈到呢，在设计空间的时候要遵循建筑法规，好让人们在怎么样的情况下能够走动并且安全的离开，当然是在紧急的情况之下咯。搭配文意，第4题我们选择名词 C 选项 emergencies， 这里指的就是紧急情况的意思。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about the ins and outs of interior design. What does it take to be an interior designer? First of all, maybe you don't have any interest in looking at the design of rooms or spaces that you enter or are in. You're probably not going to want to be an interior designer. Someone who's always noticing those things. Probably they have an interest already in it. It might be something you want to focus on for a career. When we left you, we were talking about how interior designers have to take function and safety into account. They have to think of those things. They need to be efficient, make the spaces they're designing efficient. They also need to follow the local building codes, if they're public buildings especially, so that people can move around in these areas safely. Moving on to paragraph 3, it says a range of skills is required to make each project happen. So now we're really going to focus in on the skills that you would need to be a successful interior designer.
That's right. We've already learned that, of course, you need to have sort of an artistic mind. You'd be able to, make things pretty and beautiful by decorating them and making good choices about that. You also need to think about the law, those local building codes. That covers the safety of the building. It can't be beautiful but be dangerous in case there's a fire. That's no good. So those are 2 skills, and obviously a range of skills, yes, is required. Let's look at some other skills. So we're on 2 or 3 skills. What's next? First, designers must be able to make and follow strict budgets and schedules. So this is more of sort of a business leader's skill. You need to make a budget. You need to follow a schedule. This is the kind of thing bosses and managers at companies will do. What is a budget? It's basically a spending plan. All right, you're kind of taking into account how much money do we have? What do we need to spend it on? And will we have any money left? Is that enough money to do the project? When you budget, you're not wasting money, you're using it in the best way possible, and you're planning out how you spend your money before you start spending to make sure that you don't end up in money trouble later on. We can use it both as a noun. I'm going to make a budget. This is my travel budget for my holiday, or as a verb, to budget. If you're budgeting, it means kind of you're being careful with your spending, you're planning it, thinking about it. So you might say, I'm budgeting for the next few months. I want to save up for a great holiday this summer. But either way, it's planning and spending carefully.
Yeah, so having this strong sense of discipline where you can stop yourself from spending too much. Maybe there's a particular sofa you see, but it's twice as expensive as what you've budgeted for that sofa. If you have a sense of discipline, you won't buy that one. No, you'll stick within your budget. That's really important. But you also need to stick to a schedule, guys. Maybe you need to be done by March. And you start getting slower and slower, and it looks like you're not going to be done until June. That means you're falling behind. You're way behind schedule. You'll hear people say, I think they're falling behind schedule. We need to push them and get them back on schedule. That is the preposition we'd use, to get back on schedule. What's even better is to be ahead of schedule. That's even better. So don't fall behind. In a race, if a racer or runner is falling behind, they're back behind the leaders in the race and they won't win. So you don't want to fall behind. At the same time, designers rely heavily on other people. If you rely on somebody, you're actually depending on somebody to help you do something. And here it says some designers rely heavily on other people. For example, you might hire someone to come in and paint the walls or put up the wall covering. The interior designer rarely does that themselves unless they have a very strict budget and they need to do that work themselves. They can't afford to hire somebody else, so they have to rely on themselves to finish all the work themselves. But they usually depend on other people to get the project done. So you have to have good or effective communication skills, know how to talk to people, get them to stick to the schedule and stay on budget, including the ability to organize and lead a team. Typically, you have a team if you're working on a public building or an office building. These things, especially good communication, is described here as being an absolute must. Absolute here means total, completely. I might say to you, oh, I had an absolutely terrific weekend. And there I'm using absolutely as an adverb to talk about this weekend I have, which was terrific, an adjective. Here, must is a noun. An absolute must is something you must absolutely do. You have no choice. Maybe you've seen a movie. It's an absolute must-see film. That means you don't want to miss it. For sure you want to see it.
All right, and it says creating and finishing a project would be impossible without a well-run crew. Absolutely. Interior designers will rarely be the people who also, get the furniture ready, paint the walls, put the new lights up, put a window in there where there used to be just a wall. No, they have a crew. They have a team. They have a bunch of workers working for them. So communication, leadership, making sure the budget is followed, because you're kind of in charge of all these things, but you do have to work with other people. So knowing how to work as part of a team is an absolute must, is 100% necessary. On top of all this, interior designers must make spaces attractive and comfortable. Yeah, this is more of the sort of artistic, creative side. Knowing how to make the spaces beautiful, comfortable, so people go into them and feel good about being in them. That's your main job. Here's an example of that. Knowing how to work with different design elements, including color, light, and patterns, is a necessary skill. Have you ever been inside a place and you're like, wow, what a nice room? You probably noticed that sun comes in a nice way, the lights look great, the colors of the furniture and the wallpaper, the floor, the paint, it all works together, it's all, matching well. All of those decisions were taken maybe by one person.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things to think about when you're putting together a beautiful space. What does it take, Stephanie?
It takes creativity and imagination to blend or mix these features well.
That's an artist, creative and imaginative.
Totally.
Right?
It also takes specialized knowledge of design history. A lot of interior designers go back and study different designs throughout history. Structural integrity. Structural here is an adjective. It just means something that's sound, it's built well, it's not going to just tumble down. Integrity here doesn't mean what we usually define it as is just someone who has good morals, someone who doesn't lie or cheat. Here it just means the structure of that room is sound and it won't suddenly fall apart. A lot of people will want to take a wall down in the middle of a room, but they don't understand that that wall is supporting the roof. So you need to understand how that room or the building is put together. Computer-aided drawing software, if you watch design shows, you'll notice a lot of people are using that software these days, which is really cool. So though interior design isn't quite as simple as just adding furniture and accessories like pillows to a room, it can be a rewarding career, something that brings you happiness, and it can be great for those who care about making the world a nicer place to live. And if you have some of this talent, you should definitely check out this career. It sounds like a lot of fun, something that would bring you happiness. Right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher before we come back and say goodbye.
接着在第5个空格前面的句子提到，这样子的室内设计师要遵守严谨的预算跟进度表。有了这样的想法，我们来看第5个空格的句子。 Having this strong sense of blank 5 keeps them from falling behind. 既然要遵循预算跟这样子的时间表，所以这些室内设计师必须呢要有着坚定的什么，才能够让他们进度不落后。搭配文意放在 of 后面，我们可以选择一选项 discipline， 这里指的就是纪律的意思。第6个空格的句子写着 Creating and finishing a project would be blank 6 without a well-run crew。如果要完成，然后创造完成这样子的计划，那么是怎么样的？如果没有一个运行良好的团队，也就是没有运行良好的团队，要能够完成这样的计划是不可能的。在 be 动词后面可以放形容词，搭配文意。第6题的标准答案就选择 I 选项 impossible。第7个空格 Knowing how to work with different design blank 7 including color, light, and patterns is a necessary skill. 这也是室内设计师要懂得运用的一个重要技巧。而这里讲到的颜色、光线跟图案都是属于设计的元素。搭配文意。第7题标准答案选择 H 选项的 elements， 在这里也就是有元素、要素的意思。It takes creativity and imagination to blank aid these features well. 那么呢，如果要怎么样把这些特色呢做得怎么样的好，是需要创造力跟想象力的。在 to 后面加一个原形动词，搭配文意，可以选择 D 选项 blend， 在这里是有混合，把这些特点充分的做混合，是需要创造力跟想象力的。后面第9个空格 It also takes blank 9 knowledge of design history, structural integrity, and computer-aided drawing software. 后面提到呢，也需要设计历史、结构完整性，还有电脑辅助绘图软体这样子的知识，都是属于专门的知识。第9题选择 F 选项的 specialized， 也就是有专门的意思。第10个空格，我们直接看到后半句 It can be a and blank 10 career for those who care about making the world a nicer place to live. 对于想要把世界打造成一个更适宜居住的地方的人来说，室内设计的这个工作是一个怎么样的职业呢？我们要放一个形容词搭配文意，我们可以选择 J 选项 rewarding， 在这里则是有意义的意思。OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. We hope you learned a little bit more about what it takes to be someone who is an interior designer who is really talented in interior design. If that's you, focus on it, and maybe you'll have a successful career like some of these people on TV are. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Mike.
Bye.
Bye-bye.